Hi again, folks. In this video, we're going to take a look at what I consider the 5 biggest surprises for the Buffalo Sabres this season. Coming up. And you know what? As a Sabres fan, guys, I can name a dozen. I really can. You know, there's a lot of things that surprised me with the Sabres this year. Even though some of the stuff I called to happen, I'm still surprised it did. I mean, you know, wasn't wishful thinking, but to actually see what you believe they could do and them do it, and with some things, surprised me. You know, it did. Like, there was things I was wrong about. I thought Middlestat would have a big year. You know, never happened. So there's a few things that didn't happen, but and I wouldn't say a big year. I was expecting Middlestat, I believe, to get like 25 goals somewhere, 22, 25 goals, somewhere in that ballpark. I'd have to check the videos of the past to see that. But I'm going to give you five things that I think are really, my top 5 surprises. Really, they really are. So I'm just going to go right into it, guys, and we'll talk about each one of them. All right, coming in at number 5, I got Olofsson is on a solid run to close the season. The last 32 games played, 15 goals, 13 assists for 28 points. And for the record, of those 15 goals, 9 of them are even strength. 6 are on the power play, and he has a +1 rating over that span. So Olofsson closing the season out with 15 goals, 13 assists, 28 points in the last 32 games. And honestly, 5 assists his last 2 games. Like, Olofsson's really, and I don't know if once all year he had back-to-back games with 2 assists. I don't think he did. I'd have to check that, but I don't think he did. It's the first time this year. Might be the first time in his career. He doesn't get a lot of assists. But recently, he's been going kind of crazy with them, right? So Olofsson's strong close is a surprise, especially when he went 30 straight games without a goal. Now, yes, the injury hindered him somewhat. I get that. But I also understand that when you play so many shifts and nothing happens, you got to take responsibility for that, or don't play. Just don't play. Don't eat up ice time. If you're not right, you got to tell the coach, I'm not right. My wrist isn't right. It's not really right, you know? Don't take up ice time from somebody else if you're not 100%. So his solid close to the season, though, was a surprise because it kind of started subtly, you guys might remember. Here and there, he's getting a goal, and then all of a sudden he started putting them in. It gives me hope he can get 30 goals next year. You know, this kind of close to this season. It does. It gives me hope that he could have a year like Skinner had this year. Maybe not as effective as Skinner, but still, mathematically, he probably could get similar numbers if he stays healthy next year and keeps getting his nose dirty, which he's doing a bit of these days. He is actually doing it. I see it. I see him going in the corners. I see him getting aggressive out there. It's nice to see. It is. So Olofsson's solid run to close the season for me comes in at number 5 as a surprise, really, as a surprise, pleasant surprise. Number 4, Skinner's bounce back. His bounce back season, guys, has been one for the ages. He has been impressive all season. He really has. Skinner at first, when he started scoring a bit early in the year, I was just relieved because I wanted him to have a shot at 20. And I know I made a video about him getting 30 goals before the season started, but I wanted to make sure he at least got 20, you know? So he could start getting that feel back for what he once was. And I honestly believe, guys, I believe this year he's better than his 40-goal season. He is much more effective, much more aggressive. He didn't just get like, what did he have? If you remember that season, guys, he had something like, 24 goals his first 30 games or something in that season, and then took a nosedive the rest of the year. This year, it's the opposite. He's been way more consistent with the goal. When he goes a few games without a goal, we know there's a Skinner eruption coming. So that's credit to Don Granato. That is a lot of credit going to Don Granato. So I got Skinner's bounce back as number 4. Number 3, Kyle Okposo, first 20-goal season as a Sabre. Now this, for me, guys, I easily could have put number 1. I swear I could have put this as number 1. I honestly could have, because I didn't see this coming at all before the season started. Not at all. You know, and I remember his first game of the year when we beat the Habs. Remember the first game of the year, and Okposo was pumping up the crowd. What crowd was there? And the crowds, if you notice, guys, down the stretch are filling up the building. Nice to see. So I'm guessing that the final game, I'm going to guess, is going to be a sellout in Buffalo. RJ's last game of the year. I'm going to guess there's going to be a sellout in Buffalo. Just a guess. But back to Okposo. He's not only been impressive, guys, with his goal-scoring touch this year. It's been his aggression. His constant leadership on the team was just amazing this year. How great he is in interviews. I mean, I can go on and on about Okposo this year, really. For a guy that's had like head injuries and things like this, and he just bounced back with such a solid season that it's almost forgivable what happened a few previous years. He more than made up for a lot of bad years this year. He really did. This was at a time we desperately needed leadership and his offensive capabilities to kick in, and he did both of them. I mean, after Jack got traded and Sam, we needed some help, and he did it. So good on Okposo. And I'll tell you what, bad on me, because I said in videos last year, this guy's never going to turn it around, because I was so fed up just looking at him. And this year I love the guy, so I'm really, really happy for him. I really, really am. So Okposo comes in for me at number 3. Number 2, the Sabres since March the 1st are 15-8-3. And breaking that 15-8-3 down, guys, at home they're 8-4-2. On the road they're 7-4-1 since March the 1st. So the Sabres are 15-8-3 since March the 1st. And I'll tell you what, folks, who would have predicted that? Who would have predicted that, really? A few months back when things were looking dim and everybody was giving up again. And I'm going to be doing a video on that tonight. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But, you know, like, they actually not only impressed, they made believers out of the non-believers, which I think is such a credit to this bunch this year. And yes, it is going to be kind of sad the season's closing. And I hope to, for sure, at least get one of those next 2 games. I want to win in Boston. I'm hoping we can. Because it would make it so darn exciting, guys. So damn exciting if we could get into the final game of the season, going into that last game on a 5-game winning streak. I think the fans would be pumped. They would be doing everything for the Sabres to close the season out on a 6-game winning streak. But we got to leave that on the shelf, guys, till we win in Boston. So let's not go there right yet. I'm just talking about it because I'm a fan. So the Sabres, 15-8-3 since March the 1st. That's one hell of an accomplishment. Really it is, when you consider before that what our record was. So good on the boys, turning it around the way they did this year and making a believer out of many skeptical fans. And number 1, I think everybody should agree with this, is Tage is a beast, guys. Tage Thompson's a beast. You know, last year, if you would have told me Tage Thompson was going to do this. When I seen that thing, guys, and 14% of people claimed they believed he was going to become like this. Come on. How can you, like, live with yourself? Come on. Nobody in their right mind thought Tage Thompson was going to have, like, a season where we would be talking about 40 goals. Not a chance. Maybe Skinner, we thought it's possible, right? But Tage Thompson has, you know, and I seen some Sabres fans saying, well, I hope he doesn't go too crazy because of his contract. Forget it. It's already a done deal. He's making money now. Forget it. Cheer for him to get the 40 goals, because whether he gets 39 or 40, it ain't going to make $1 a difference in his new contract coming up. I'll tell you right now, because that contract's really dependent on next year. It's not dependent on this year. It really isn't. So he's going to get a boost no matter what, though. He could have an off year next year, like 18, 19 goals, and Tage is still going to get a nice contract. You know, not like crazy good, but a very nice contract is coming his way. He knows it. So, you know, like, root him on. Don't root against him. Root him on. We need these guys. We need these type of young guys to come into this team and take over, you know? If you would have told me a few years ago that I would see Tage Thompson get 37 goals before Jack Eichel, I would have thought you're nuts. Hockey's a funny game, guys. Things can change. People can change. times change, you know. All right, c'est fini for this one. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. I got one more coming your way. See you then.